These are this afternoon's top stories. Tough knots enter SKNABA finals. St. Vincent and the Grenadines opposition calls for public debate, and Thai Prime Minister calls for calm after Hindu shrine bombing. Good afternoon and welcome to the ZIZ Midday newscast. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2015. I am JD Keynes. In national news, the Kitchen Hill St. Paul's Tough Knots swept defending champions Development Bank Exodus with 3 straight wins to book a spot in the St. Kitts Nevis Amateur Basketball Association finals. The final score was 79-76. St. Paul's will now await the winner of the Fig Tree Hitters series, which is currently tied at 1 game. The final game in that series takes place on Thursday evening at Basketball City. Meantime, Game 1 of the A Division Finals between Horsford's Ghetto Roots and St. Peter's Runners takes place on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. at Basketball City. When Grenada's Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell, spoke at Monday's opening ceremony of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's annual General Assembly, he encouraged media companies to be thorough in their work and not allow themselves to be influenced by persons deemed to be the elite in society. While sharing his thoughts on Dr. Mitchell's address, General Manager of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation Clement Ogaro said his company was in line with the recommendations.
Though we are a government institution, it does not necessarily mean that we're not in the broadcast journalism business. We are. And one of the things that he wanted to make sure that the journalists are doing is to fact check your work. We want to make sure that everything that we're doing is factual. Yes, there are people who are not going to like some of the stories that we do because they're intimately involved. But if the facts are right, if we got the details, that's more important than how the other person is going to feel.
Ogaro is in Grenada at the annual CBU General Assembly. The upcoming launch of a U.S. mailbox service by the General Post Office, GPO, here is in keeping with a strategy to incorporate more technology-based services and expand the scope of its operations, with figures from the Universal Postal Union, UPU, indicating that worldwide letter post traffic declined by an estimated 3.5% in 2013 compared to statistics in 2012. Post offices are forced to find new ways to increase their usefulness. This was a key message stressed in 2013 when the St. Kitts Marriott Resort served as the venue for the 16th annual conference of the Caribbean Postal Union, CPU. The theme was facing the challenges of a digital society. There were many ideas and best practices shared at the forum about diversifying the service. Registration for the U.S. mailbox service is free up until October 9th, when it will be officially launched. At that time, the GPO will also be expected to reopen its internet cafe. The service is currently closed to allow new computers to be installed and other upgrades to take place. The internet cafe service was launched in October 2010 and has seen success, particularly with tourists visiting on cruise ships. The next project being considered is digital signage, where persons can use monitors in the post office for advertising. That will be pursued late 2015 or early 2016. Regionally, leader of the Democratic Republican Party, DRP, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Anicia Baptiste, is making a call for live televised debates among the 4 political leaders. Baptiste said while she has made previous calls for political debates, after watching the U.S. Republican presidential debates recently, she is even more of the view that political issues can be debated without what she described as a cuss-out.
We engage in conversations and arguments and discussions which focus on the individual candidates, and there are a number of things that are said, disparaging remarks, some of them bordering on defamatory remarks, and a sort of kind of cuss-out culture in talk radio. Political debates organized would give us the opportunity to focus instead on the issues and allow each political party leader to outline their plans and policies to Vincentians, thereby allowing Vincentians to have an opportunity to assess them based on the issues and based on the policies and make their decisions as to who they will vote for based on those things. It would call for more maturity, clarity, being more effective in your presentation of yourself, and take us away from that downright nasty culture that has developed in our land with respect to the way we compete politically.
The DRP leader believes that the debates will also ensure that political leaders keep their word and promises to voters while publicly outlining their plans and policies.
I'm actually calling upon the other political leaders. Let us have debate. Let us come together. Let some journalists and others organize and come with their questions and pose these questions to us on the various issues that people would like to hear us on, and let the people know exactly where we stand. And the reason why I asked for 3 debates, I don't just want 1 debate. At least three debates. Why? Having 3 debates allows the persons who are asking the questions to question us on a variety of issues, and it also allows the public to be able to assess us on things like consistency. Are you going to flip-flop on a question in your second debate? Are you going to change your position in the final debate from what it was in the first one? These are the things that can come out when you have us tested, as it were, on 3 different occasions on different issues. I really think it's important, and I want to say I am prepared, I am open for such an activity, and I say let's have it, let's debate, bring it on.
In St. Lucia, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, along with the High Command of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, has expressed concern regarding the local media's approach to the coverage of matters which are before the courts. Director of Public Prosecutions Victoria Charles Clark is again warning the media against publicizing active court cases. The media fraternity is therefore being called upon to exercise caution in interviewing and displaying the images of potential witnesses who may be on scenes of crime and or involved in ongoing police investigations.
The Fourth Estate received a strong word of caution from the Director of Public Prosecution and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. The 2 organizations claim the country's criminal code prohibits the publishing of any matter which can, quote, prejudice the fair trial or conduct of criminal proceedings. In order to do so, the media is asked to desist from interviewing and displaying the images of potential witnesses who may be on crime scenes or involved in ongoing police investigations.
What I need to say is that we have had I've had press releases in the past asking the media to comply with the requirements of the law, which requires that there should not be reporting of matters which are currently before the courts, based on the principle of sub judice, or sub judice, as some people refer.
It is a contempt of court to publish any matter which is intended to or is likely to prejudice the fair trial of or conduct of criminal proceedings, and to publish any matters which prejudices issues which are to be tried or are being tried by the court. Internationally, the Thai Prime Minister is calling on the public to stay calm after a deadly bombing at a Hindu shrine in Bangkok on Monday. He has promised that those responsible will be caught. Al Jazeera's Veronica Pedrosa reports.
Picking up the pieces. This is a shopping district in Bangkok that's seen dramatic political conflict several times before, but nothing like this. Dozens of people were killed here on Monday, among them victims from Malaysia, China, Hong Kong and Singapore. Many more were injured. It was an attack apparently designed to kill as many people as possible at a high-profile target, the Erawan Shrine. The government's acting urgently to restore a sense of security for the public and millions of tourists.
In our country, there are individuals or groups of individuals who are seeking to destroy the country. The ongoing attempts at destruction might be politically motivated, targeting the economy, tourism, or for whatever reason. The government will work to find these perpetrators and bring justice upon any networks involved as soon as possible.
This security camera footage shows the moment the bomb went off. 5 kilograms of military-grade explosives that sources have told Al Jazeera was deliberately.
The Obama administration on Monday ordered Chinese law enforcement officers in the U.S. to leave the country. The officers are part of what's known as Operation Fox Hunt, a global campaign to track down fugitives from China wanted at home for corruption and fraud. Roy Rottenberg reports.
China and the U.S., of course, do not have an extradition treaty in place, but have pledged repeatedly to work together on the matter. And according to the Xinhua, as late as April, when the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary was in Beijing meeting with China's public security minister, the U.S. agreed to strengthen that cooperation. And it's in that context, Xinhua's editors note, Sunday's warning appear insincere. And the article asks if perhaps in failing to translate its words into actions, Washington is ultimately positioning itself on the side of wanted criminals. In the past, officials from both sides have insisted that the world's two largest economies have a number of areas where they can cooperate, and issues where they don't agree shouldn't prevent that. But these are serious accusations. The U.S. says Chinese agents are not coordinating with American law enforcement agents as U.S. law requires.
And now taking a look at the weather. Today will be mostly sunny with a 10% chance of showers. Tonight is expected to be mostly clear with a 20% chance of showers. Seas are moderate with heights of up to 4 feet with winds blowing east at 10 to 17 miles per hour. Temperatures today should peak at 82 degrees Fahrenheit. The Met Office says mostly clear skies will prevail across much of the Eastern Caribbean with only a slight chance of showers. Sunset this evening is expected at 6:35 p.m. while sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:55 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for the details to these stories and more when we present our major news package. I have been your presenter, JD Keynes. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful afternoon.